This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
So we got a lot on the agenda tonight, so why don't we dive right into it? Just a little bit of catching up. First, I'd like to introduce our new member, Draw. Is that right? Is that
Draw.
Okay. Maybe you can introduce yourself, and maybe we should just go around really quick so you know who you are.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be on this committee. I moved to this area back in 2023. I was here in the 1980s when I went to UMass, but I went away and came back. One of the main reasons, or one of the compelling reasons for moving back to the Valley was the amazing rail trail system. I'm a daily cyclist, and since moving here, I've been, on it almost every day, riding around, and just love it. I'm a member of the I'm on the Friends of Northampton Trails Committee as well. So I'm involved with the trail cleanups and all the things that they've been doing there. So I thought it'd be good to sort of stretch it over here. I live in Easthampton now. I was in Northampton originally. So I wanted to join this group and just get involved with all the issues that are happening with the trail. I'm also very involved. My interest is in how the trail network meets the cities around here, Northampton, Easthampton. I think the traffic is going to increase. This is the Craig Della Penna speech, but the traffic's going to increase with the extension down Southampton, but also with the whole New Haven and the Boston connection eventually. Easthampton and Northampton are going to get a big influx of traffic, bicycle traffic, hopefully, and just I think we have a gift here. It's a national park, in my opinion. I look at it as a linear park, and I just think there's a lot of things to do to help with the community understand that there's another network of travel happening on this thing. It's winding through all of our towns, and I think that the more we can do to sort of make that better for the businesses and for just people in general, and safety. So I just recently did a video program. I'm actually involved with a video series currently producing out of Easthampton Media, called Equal Streets, Pioneer Valley, which is addressing a lot of these situations. And last year I did a specific program based on for Picture Main Street in Northampton, talking to people, trying to get advocacy and information, try to dispel the disinformation around projects like that, and basically complete streets, of which Easthampton has already started, and continuing my efforts there. And I thought being on this committee would be a good place to exercise all that stuff.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got a lot of people here, so why don't we just do an introduction, and if you could just say if you're on the committee or if you're a visitor or whatever, just so Tom can get some names and faces.
Nice to meet you. I'm Evan, and this is my second term on the committee.
I'm Anita, also in my second term on the committee.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a resident of Southampton. I'm a visitor here, and I am on the Southampton Greenway Committee.
Hi, I'm Alexis. Second or third term? I'm not sure. For a few years. And I also work at Mass Bike.
I'm Sean. You know me. I'm here a guest.
Yeah, we know each other. I'm Ron Albertson. I'm in the first term of the committee.
I'm a resident.
I'm David Jaffe. I'm the secretary for the group, and I've been on the committee for going on 8 years.
I'm Barbara Lombard. I've been here since the beginning, the very first walk in 1994, and along with Steve Donnelly, who's
I wasn't there from the beginning, right close, and but I'm retired from the committee now, so I'm just here helping out.
Okay. Great. Well, welcome. Next thing,
Probably on the camera too. These guys.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm now on camera. We have Wendy. We'll start with you.
Oh, can't hear you.
Wendy Hammerly, and yes, I've been a member of the committee probably shortly after Barb joined, so going on 30 years, something like that. Yep.
They don't know what order they're in.
Liz?
I'm Liz Sturgeon, and I've been on the committee since not the very, very beginning, but since before there was a trail, so a long time.
And John Lucido?
I'm John Lucido. I've been on the committee for over 20 years.
Yep. And then the down in the bottom of Holden, right? Holden.
Hi, Holden Pertino. I think it's been about a year and a half or so.
And Janet, I think you're a visitor. Yep. Okay.
And Brad?
Do you see
And
Brad?
This Brad
Brad's a
Riley,
guest.
former city councilor, and he's doing a presentation tonight. So. Okay. So we haven't met since November. So we have the November meeting minutes to approve. I sent them out with the agenda. If there's any corrections or comments, or if you can even remember what we did at that meeting. If there's no comments, if I have a motion to approve the minutes of the November 17th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Okay, all right. So tonight we do have some guests, so I'm going to take you in order that you asked to come. So first we're going to start with Sean Condon, owner of Speed and Sprocket, and I will let you take it from here.
Hi, everyone. I am the owner of Speed and Sprocket. That's not really why I'm here tonight, but that is one of the many hats that I wear. I am involved in Northampton, and this year I've kind of unofficially taken on the task of organizing all of our Bike Month events, or some of them, I should say, not all of them. There's tons going on, but I've been tasked with kind of organizing the bike breakfast in particular, and then the bike benefits, the discounts that businesses are offering in town for Bike Month to cyclists. And I wanted to check in with y'all because I remember in the past, Easthampton has historically done some events during Bike Month and Bike Week. So I just want to kind of connect with you all and see if you had anything kind of percolating in the back of your heads for this year, or anything that you might need help with, or we've done stuff in Northampton that could probably be replicated here. So it would be, a low lift. It would just need, some people in the community who want to see some Bike Month / Bike Week events happening, so Bike Month is May. Bike Week is the
11th through 15th.
Officially the 11th through the 15th, Monday through Friday. Historically, we've stretched that to the Saturday, the 9th to Sunday, the 17th. And there's a flyer, poster that gets put together by PVPC with all sorts of activities in the Valley, not just Northampton, that kind of broadcasts what's going on to people. It gets put up and down the Valley. PVPC does a lot of marketing and getting word out for events. They're really helpful in that regard, but they need to know about the events and kind of have the information fed to them so they can trumpet it loud and clear to everyone. So again, I'm just kind of checking in with y'all to see if you had thought about any events that you might want to do during Bike Month. If there's any way I personally could help you, or, I know other people in Mass Bike or other organizations that maybe I could connect you with, depending on like what you had in mind. And I'm excited to see something happen, or more than some things happen, and just want to do all I can to help facilitate that.
I think our big Bike Month thing is usually our mulching cleanup.
That's part of a work day. I think
Yeah.
one issue we've had this year is that we haven't met since November.
Yeah,
We had 2 meeting cancellations because of snowstorms. So
it's been a real winter.
yeah, so in November we weren't really thinking ahead to May yet.
Mhm.
We have done little breakfast things along the trail. It's been a few years since we've done that, and it kind of seemed like there wasn't that much traffic. Liz had always been our kind of connection to Bike Week, and I don't know, Liz, if you have any comments or thoughts.
No, you're right. I hadn't thought about it much either. What I had thought was, I'm sad that Cultural Chaos isn't happening because we really loved having the bike valet thing and Sean setting up with us there. But I haven't thought about May.
Yeah, so what we did a few times is we set up right by Tandem Bagel, on the, right across from the mural, there's that little spot there, and we put a table and we had bagels and fruit and water and some swag and stuff like that, and just for a couple hours.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so, the people walking by it was okay. It just never really seemed to me that it was really that many people really, just the casual, happened to be walking by people that saw it. So I don't know. I mean, it's up to the group as to whether you think that we want to try something this year or not.
I think an added difficulty is going to be the closure between Manhattan and Northampton. So you won't get like casual traffic riding by as easily.
Yeah.
Because that's what's supposed to end on the 30th of June
Yeah.
and starting soon.
Yeah.
Starting today.
I saw that the detour signs,
Yeah, I did
they're
too.
up, but the detour thing was blacked out, so I don't know. Yeah. I didn't know anything about that.
I didn't find out until Thursday.
Yeah.
Does anyone know when the Food Truck Fridays start? I don't know if we could do an event down by like where the food truck's set up by the mill buildings. Might have more traffic.
I think it's usually the end of May. I think they have a anniversary thing and then they start those off. It's not necessarily every weekend though, for every Friday.
Right. But just an idea, I don't know, a little are there, more bike path in either direction, maybe a little more traffic potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know.
Has there ever been any effort to organize some sort of community ride? Like there are some towns, Westfield, Holyoke, that there's like a mayor's ride that gets, government officials leading community members out on a casual ride.
That's an interesting idea because our mayor is a cyclist. So, I mean, he might be willing to, do something.
So one thing I've been pushing for, and I actually wrote Salem last week, is that the Oxbow construction project is hopefully going to start maybe in May. And I asked MassDOT and Salem if they'd be interested in doing a groundbreaking ceremony. And that's kind of out of my hands because that's really big players.
What is that for?
So a mile shared use path between the Duncan and Atwood Drive. So that might be an event we can rally around if it happens. So I don't have again, it's out of my hands, but I wrote Salem on, I think, literally Thursday. And he said he'd talk to the Holyoke mayor and to the Northampton mayor. And yeah,
So they're actually starting construction this year?
Yep.
Know that
Yep.
either.
Are they starting on the Easthampton or the
Don't know. My idea would be like a convergent of all three mayors because it's going to connect all three towns and it's very exciting. So maybe if I get any more details about it, or we can ask Salem directly. So that might be our thing. And then when they do construction projects on route over the Route 10 bridge, we can bike another direction. I don't know if everyone knows about this project. Do you want me to go into more detail?
Yeah.
So they're going to do a 10-foot shared use path, kind of cantilevered over the Oxbow side along Route 5 it's a mile, and and then they'll expand the parking lot that will help the boat ramp people and the people cycling in the summer to get to the Manhattan. So they're extending the parking lot kind of underneath the power lines and then adding a shared use path all the way up to Northampton.
This cantilever.
Bridge over, yeah. Like they're creating a boardwalk, or I don't know how they're doing it, but
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right where it crosses it.
Yeah, I wondered how they were gonna handle that.
there's like a little cantilevered section over by Lowe's in Hadley,
Yeah.
on one of the bridges, and you can kind of see how they build them. It's really
I
cool.
just pulled up a map if you want to pass it around so people can see about that.
What's the third city that you took?
Holyoke?
Holyoke.
Yeah. I mean, Holyoke is a little further off, but it actually benefits Holyoke the most, I think, because they can bike to Northampton. I talked to people from Holyoke before this went in, or as it is now, it's 5 miles to do the entire rail trail to get to Northampton, and that will be 1 mile once it's. So maybe we can follow up with Salem to see. He was out of town when I talked to him. I got one email, like one sentence. Most of the time.
Send something to
It's a great thing because I've ridden that on that traffic is.
That was
It's tough. That's
terrifying.
weirdly, yeah.
It's terrifying. Yeah, I went to the MassDOT meeting like 3 years ago, the public meeting. And they've been that neighborhood on the island has been advocating for that for like 20 years.
Yeah, so I guess at this point, we don't have any solid plans to do anything. I mean, there may be things that come up, but they might not end up being in May, or they may, I mean, I don't think you can say that our mulching work day is really an event.
Beautification event, we need volunteers for, just, more the merrier.
We kind of combine like bagels. and things
Yeah,
like
we can do a double duty.
Yeah, I think people are busy enough in May that you just want to,
Yeah.
we're lucky we get our people to help. But yeah, so.
I mean, it sounds like the mayor might be, a good contact for a potential community event. Like I don't have any connection with the mayor and I don't live in Easthampton, but I feel like that might be a good idea for someone to pick up and at least approach them about. And there are other community rides that, if you want to have a sense of how they're set up or how they're run. We're not kind of inventing the wheel. It'd be kind of drawing on previous experience.
John? John? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I'll talk to Salem about that.
Okay, great.
I'm meeting with him in regards to other things in town. I'd love to talk to him about that.
I mean, I see him being I see him being interested in doing something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be difficult for him to be doing it during the work week, but as we're closed on Fridays, it might be a Friday thing. So he could do something on Friday.
And he's connecting with his constituents, so it is work,
Well,
right?
oh, he would love to do that. I see his light. Let's see the light on, but
I
I don't
heard
think
him.
he's.
I heard him come in.
Really?
Sure.
He was up walking down the hall.
Oh, he left? Oh, okay, he didn't turn his lights on.
Sean, how is that funded? I mean, what would we need if we needed to do something here? How would we purchase these?
We would,
Yeah.
we have money.
You have money to do
Yeah,
this kind
I
of
mean,
thing?
not,
Is that how they do it over there with
Well, I mean, it's
usually
a
not.
city event, so it's not a real draw on funds, really. I mean, it's just getting some people together and riding, and sometimes they'll do bagels or snacks before or after, but it's not a huge lift or a huge expense. And more than likely, if you're not doing any other events, you probably can approach some businesses here in town for some donations.
Yeah, didn't that breakfast, that was all donated last year.
I mean, when we've done it before, I mean, Tandem has given us stuff, Biggies is.
Tandem's great, yeah, Big
Yeah,
E's.
so, I mean, we could have it be like a morning, we could have a table with some stuff and do a little ride and then.
Yeah.
So that might be fun. I mean, a Friday, if he's available on a Friday where, we're not, this building is closed. Yeah. Yeah, John, I have an email that I need to send to him too, but if you want to talk to him as well. Yeah. So Friday would be what, the 15th? May 15th? That particular
Yeah, so
week?
Friday would be
But I
May
mean,
15th.
if it's the month, it could be like any Friday that works.
Yeah. Obviously no pressure, but to get it on
Right.
the calendar and on, particularly on the posters, like sooner rather than later,
Okay.
identify a date. Like it doesn't have to be tomorrow, but
Right.
probably in the next month-ish or so.
Great. Okay,
See if we have any ideas at the next meeting.
yeah. I mean, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a little breakfasty thing and a little ride
Mhm.
with the mayor, which I think he would like.
Mayoral ride.
You may have saved the event here.
Don't know.
We haven't done anything.
I mean,
for a
we could
month.
start at like Millside Park.
Yeah.
Start at Millside
Yep.
and just, go in maybe go in one direction or the other, or do some, just ride on the bike path.
Yep.
All right.
We might.
Yeah.
That's a good idea because if you use Millside, you can utilize the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
And the bathrooms.
Yes.
Yep.
If they're open. If they're open.
Well, yeah, but.
I mean, the mayor can pull strings, right?
Well, we'll see what he says. But, all right. Well, thank you very much for
Yeah.
reminding us that it's May is not that far away right now.
not.
Yep. All right. So why don't we go on to Brad? Brad, I will kind of let you take it over and explain what your project is.
All right, thank you, Barbara. So, I just wanted to say a quick hello to all of you. As I was, kind of looking around the room, I feel like I've appointed probably half of you to this committee, so it's good to see you all again. And to those of you who predate me as a city councilor, thank you for doing the work that you've done to keep this group running for as many years as it has. The first thing that I wanted to acknowledge with you all is that I'm no longer a city councilor, and in my current capacity, I am a unappointed, uncompensated community health worker for the city of Easthampton. So I just want to make that clear. I don't get paid to do this work, and the mayor or city council have not appointed me to the role. So what I am going to do is pull up a presentation. Can you see that?
It popped up for a minute.
Went away.
It says you
See it on my
Sharing
phone.
your entire screen.
At the top, but it's not.
Why don't you stop it and try it again?
Okay, let's see.
'Cause you-
Maybe it needs to start. Do it on the email.
All right.
Is there anything else?
How about now?
There we go.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, great. All right. So just to give you an idea, some of the work that I am doing with the city of Easthampton as the community health worker is finding useful ways to spend some of the overdose opioid abatement funds. So if any of you are familiar, quite a while back, the city of Easthampton joined in a lawsuit against the Sackler family. And that was in relation to the overprescription of opioids. And so now we have this revolving account that accrues money every year. And it is for the city of Easthampton to spend on public health initiatives that improve the lives of people who are impacted by overdose and opioid addiction. So this proposal that I'm putting forward is a remembrance garden that would take root on the Manhan Rail Trail right off of Millside Park. So so basically the purpose of this remembrance garden is to create a space for healing and connection, right? It would be a quiet, dedicated spot for remembrance for families and friends to honor those who've been lost to overdose. And it also serves as an active gathering point for local prevention, recovery, and community education initiatives. What I really like about this potential site for a proposal is that every year the organization Learn to Cope has a candlelight vigil that happens in Millside Park. And this parcel is just about 1,200 feet away, down from the park. So this would be an opportunity to harmonize existing programming that happens in the area, with just an additional, you know, offering that we can give to our community. So, you know, like I said, this is the location. If you can kind of see here where the purple circle is, this is, Barbara, can you remind me, what is this structure called? It's something meant for overflow of water.
It's a retention or detention basin. I can't remember which.
Perfect. Yeah, retention basin. Yeah, so this was originally designed by the city to allow for water overflow, you know, from the Millside building. And so largely this plot of land is not used for anything. There is a trail that's been set up. My understanding is that trail was meant for DPW if they needed to access, you know, the infrastructure. So, you know, the lot right now, which is parcel 136-101, perfectly situated along the Manhan Rail Trail and overlooks Lower Mill Pond. So the image that you see here on the right, this is a sort of composite image of a photograph that I took of Lower Mill Pond some years ago, and just kind of put in some, you know, flowers to kind of give you an idea of what it would conceptually look like once it's complete. So, you know, it'd be a quiet seating area. There'd be a bench that would be installed, and then a stone monument with like a plaque that basically says, you know, this space is, you know, for those who we lost to overdose, you know, whatever kind of language we want to put there. So that's conceptually what it would look like. And so, you know, I've worked with Councillor Smith, who is the City Council's representative to the Bees Committee, and we kind of pulled together some ideas for flowers. So the original idea was forget-me-not flowers. But then, you know, what I learned quickly is that the symbolism of a forget-me-not sounds really great in practice when it comes to honoring loved ones who've passed away. But it turns out that a forget-me-not flower is named such because even if you were to uproot them, they never go away. They're actually a very invasive species. So, you know, and they're actually illegal to plant in Massachusetts. So, this proposal that I've kind of put forward is a series of native pollinators that we can plant in Easthampton. They're all purple, and purple is symbolic because that is the color for overdose awareness. And each of these flowers thrives both in direct sunlight and in wet, swampy soils. So even if the you know, the structure where this garden would exist serves its purpose, right? We have a lot of rain that comes down from the mills. It's okay because these plants can actually thrive in a really wet environment. So not only are they suitable native pollinators, but they also have some symbolic elements as well to them. So New England asters are symbolic for patience and endurance and remembrance. Echinacea is symbolic for healing, resilience, and recovery. Joe Pieweed is for perseverance, communal healing. And it's really important to also call out that it's named after a native healer. And then also swamp milkweed, which is the continuation of life. And I know that this is important for Easthampton as well, is to have more milkweed planted to support the natural habitat of monarch butterflies. And, you know, so monarch butterflies also symbolically, they come from the Greek root word of psyche, which means both your soul and a butterfly. So it universally represents transformation and renewal. It also allows for bumblebees to visit the garden. And you know, there's some multicultural connections to bumblebees as well. I know there's the Western European telling of the bees. You know, when people would speak to bees to talk about, you know, major life events, you know, go tell my family members who have passed that we're celebrating a new birth or somebody got married. And then also just, you know, in a more contemporary sense, bumblebees are seen as physiological anomalies because there's no reason anatomically why they can fly with the size of their body and the size of their wings. And yet somehow a bumblebee defies all odds of physics and biology and continues to fly. And then also these flowers would attract hummingbirds. And in Northeastern indigenous traditions, they represent healing, joy, and the ability to reflect on the past. And then also, I think, which is really moving from a symbolic standpoint, is that hummingbirds are the only bird that can fly backwards. That is to say, to revisit the past without losing their flight, and they can come back forward in a seamless fashion. So I've really kind of built out a multicultural, symbolic, ecological coexisting here with the flowers. And so then for the public health alignment, so there's an impact cycle, that's being addressed here. And so I think the first is that, as communities, we don't do a really good job at acknowledging the stigma around substance abuse and overdose. So to have a physical monument in place that talks about those that we've lost to addiction is a way to be able to say, no, we actually do acknowledge that this is a thing and it does happen. It also provides a dedicated, safe environment for grieving for families to find solace and connection. And it creates a structured outdoor venue for overdose awareness programming and community education. And then also we can plant some signs that utilizes on-site interpretive signage that can connect residents to regional prevention and recovery resources. Give me just 1 second here. I've been sick all week, so I need to take a drink. All right, so in terms of the community partnerships here, a lot of this work is being led by Learn to Cope. And if you're not familiar with that organization, they're a peer-led support network for families that are dealing with addiction and recovery. And they have a regional office that's right up the hill from where this site is inside the mill building. So, they're the ones that host the Candlelight Vigil in Millside Park. So this just also feels like a natural installation that supports the work they're doing in the mill. And, in the spring and summertime, people that go to their support groups or access services can have a moment to come down onto the bike path and just, experience nature. So this partnership with Learn to Cope is currently being done with the Easthampton Department of Health. I've got support from the Bees Committee. And then the next step is to get an approval from the Conservation Commission. We just want to ensure that any type of planting or installation that happens on the banks of Lower Mill Pond doesn't disrupt, the natural ecosystem. So I have got full support from the planning department, from DPW, and the mayor's office are all in support of this. So obviously this is where, you all would come in, or you're probably thinking like, okay, if we're talking about building something on the bike path, that means that there's got to be some sort of, maintenance or upkeep. So, for sure, there's some seasonal maintenance, right? Routine planting and weeding, edging the path around the flower garden as needed. But the goal really is to have a coalition of people who take care of this as a communal property. So, I would be looking for buy-in from the Bees Committee, from you all, and then from local friends and families. Also, Learn to Cope staff, support group members, and families of lost ones are open to, doing the touch and go upkeep as they visit the garden, as a physical way to restore and cultivate the memories of their loved ones. And then, the other idea would be to host a, seasonal volunteer cleanup day that would be led by Learn to Cope. And if you all wanted to participate in that process, I would be more than happy to welcome you. So, the proposed budget and funding everything would be 100% paid for. So we're talking about $10,000 for this to be created, up to 15,000 for contingency funding in case, we get down there and we find something needs to be leveled or, selective trimmings, whatever the case may be. All of the money has already been approved by the mayor's office that would come from the municipal opioid abatement funds. And the justification to build something like this is that the costs align perfectly with the mandated use of opioid settlement funds by transforming financial restitution directly into active community healing. So here's really what the timeline looks like, and this is what my ask is from you. So the immediate goal here is to secure formal letters of support from various city boards, committees, and commissions. So I would be looking for a letter from you all that basically says, yes, we support creating a remembrance garden like this. Once we have buy-in from all of our stakeholders, I'll work with all of my colleagues with Learn to Cope, DART, and through the city of Easthampton to put the final design together. And then August 17th of this summer, which is when our candlelight vigil is happening, we would have a ribbon cutting ceremony that basically says, by the end of summer of 2027, this is what the project would look like. So I know I just talked a lot. Happy to answer any questions that you all have. But I just wanted to say thank you for your time.
Thanks, Brad. I think it's a wonderful idea, and I'm fully in support of it, and I have a feeling that the committee will be too. I think myself and a few other members, my main concern, of course, is who's going to take care of it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
That's, and it sounds like there should be good people to do it, but I really don't think you can count on our committee or I think it would be really great if that organization up in the mills would kind of take it on and adopt it and maintain it, because there's, you can plant perennials, but there's still work to be done and you can't just let it go.
Right.
So I know you know that, but I just want to make it very clear that maintenance is something that's going to be very important.
Yeah, and Barbara, if it would actually help you all, you could be very clear in a letter of support for that as well, that, there may be some of us as volunteers that would be open to participating in an event, but we would be looking for, Learn to Cope, to be the leaders on, the upkeep. And I know that the folks at Learn to Cope are open to this as well. So, it's one of those, the more the merrier. If any of you all wanted to help out, nobody would say no to you.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have first of all, this is a really awesome, I love all the research you did into the flowers and like the bees and the hummingbirds. But I do have a few concerns. I know you said you talked to the bees and the DPW, but as of last month, Sophie from the DPW was working with the bees to put a garden on the exact same spot with the Girl Scouts. So it might be a bit of cross wires.
Really?
And so he would be your point person to figure out who goes where or what projects happen. Also, my other concern is that that particular area is most often used by the INSA customers. So I don't know if you feel comfortable with, pot smoking, which is legal, but also that's, I walk by there in the evenings at night, and that's who is most often there in that particular area.
Okay.
I have a question about the Girl Scout thing. We didn't know anything about that. And once again, obviously that has to be straightened out.
Yeah, it's from Sophie and DPW and Bees. So it sounds like it's DPW needs to talk to you, or I'm obviously not in charge of any of it. I'm not on that committee.
Yeah, I think whatever is there has to have a plan for maintenance.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brad,
I think the Girl Scouts were supposed to do the maintenance, but again, I don't go to those meetings either.
Yeah,
I was
I
just
would-
like, oh, it sounds like 2 gardens are happening in the same spot.
Very, very good insight. Thank you for that. I hadn't heard that and nobody's brought it to my attention. So
Yeah.
I'll certainly check into it.
I mean, I think that any group that wants to do any kind of a garden or anything basically on the bike
It's
path.
the continuation of the like pollinator project that they've been having for like 3 years that kind of keeps not starting or happening. It's like they were gonna do it at the library, and then they picked another site, and then they picked another site, and then DPW picked the site for them.
We should know about that though, I think.
Again, I'm
I
not
know.
on that committee. This is just, my husband happens to be the chair, so I hear through word of mouth from other people.
Right. Well, I guess it sounds like your project is a lot more organized than probably.
I think it's pretty organized. It's through DPW.
Right.
I have a comment on the maintenance. Sorry, I can't see the presentation, so I might have missed this. But Brad, I don't know. Well, obviously, if there's 2 gardens happening, I think that's the first priority. But if I guess whatever garden goes forward, I don't know if there's funding or if this garden is planned somewhere else. If that garden is the other garden, I don't know. But I guess I'm wondering with the funding source that you're planning to use, would you be able to put into the budget? Because I agree that long-term maintenance is always going to be a thing, but I think with a new planting perennial garden with new plants, I would highly encourage putting in the budget for replanting in the first 2 to 3 years. Just knowing that some plants might not take and there might be some invasive control or something like that, especially in the first couple of years as the plant's established. So if your funding source allows for it, I would recommend putting a few years of planned maintenance and replanting into the budget to make sure it can have a good chance of success longer term. But obviously the issue with if there are 2 gardens happening, I think that takes priority. But
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, I think we can absolutely work something like that into the budget, but that's a good catch, Holden. Thank you.
I used to work in tree plantings, and I think they just standard practice, they expected like a third of the planting stock would just be eaten or taken over or not be successful or something. So
got it.
I think, multiple years of just expecting that you're going to have to plant again in year 2 and 3.
Should we make a motion to support?
Yeah. So do I have a motion that we write a letter of support in favor of this remembrance garden?
I make a motion that we offer a letter of support to Brad and the group in support of the development of this garden by the trail.
I have a second. All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? Okay, Brad, we'll put something together, and I guess I'll send it to you.
Yes, please send it to the email account for it's ech@easthamptonma.gov.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time, everybody. I appreciate it. I'm going to hop off just because I'm sick and I could probably cough my head off for a few minutes. So if you need anything, just reach out to me. Okay.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. David, can you craft that?
Yep.
Okay, excellent.
Before moving on, can I just add something to my part? I
Yep.
reached out to Matt Tarlacki, the owner of Abandoned Building. May 22nd is going to be the launch of Food Truck Friday, so that potentially could be a good date to do something cycling related, and it's right on the bike path. So they already include bike valet, I believe. So
Do they? Oh, I was gonna say, we could have,
but I mean, if you were there to staff it, I'm sure making that connection would be great. So I just wanted to add that because it had come up.
They're not using my racks, but they're using.
They bought some.
Ah,
Cool.
Good to know.
Wow. Great. Next is, on the agenda, new business, I guess. Now, I don't really know a whole lot about this. Maybe you know about it. The State Mass Trails 10.
I actually don't know, but
Okay. Wendy, do you know where this came from? I mean, it just came, I mean, I have the email and it came to the city and it came to our info line and it's got, you know, DCR and things like that. Do you know anything about it?
I don't know any more than what was in that email. I don't know if Lisa followed up with them or not, but no, I don't know where that came from, but it sounds like a good thing. It sounds like it's
Mass Trails, the 2025 campaign reached more than 20 million visits to the Mass Trails website. Building on that momentum, we're excited to announce that the Manhattan Rail Trail has been selected as one of 10 new signature trails featured in the 2026 campaign, which no matter what is pretty cool.
sounds great to me. I think we should answer this person and move forward. But again, I didn't want to overstep, so I guess we'll check with Lisa and see if she wants to do it. At least communicate with them.
We love your partnership in 2 areas. First, in order to present your trail in the best possible light, we'd love to have you review draft web pages. And second, help to spread the word. So should we ask Lisa if she might be willing to do that? Or Wendy, did you want to be a volunteer? I mean, we could just put you in contact with them or Lisa in contact with them.
I would say or let her be the point person and then maybe we can have a subcommittee. So I don't know how much material they're gonna ask us to review, but you know, maybe spread it around a little bit.
Okay, so Lisa and Evan, I'll maybe, do you want to reach out to her, to Lisa?
Yeah.
And then the 2 of you.
Can you forward me this email?
I'll just give it to you. I think it was in the, I included it in with the agenda and all that stuff, so, okay. All right, there's a few things, under quote, new business that are kind of quick, so maybe we can, do those things first and then get back to anything that might take a little bit longer. The first, I think, is that May is coming up pretty quick. And I'd like to have us pick our day that we might want to do the mulching at the mural. I know last year we almost thought that we might not need it this year, but I really do think that every year it's good to get out there and kind of give it a fresh coat of mulch and make things look nice and fresh. I did reach out to George Labrie, who has been a godsend with his bucket loader, and I don't think he's gotten back to me. Not yet. So, I mean, he has to be able to be there. But does anybody have a preference on either, I'm thinking May 2nd or the 9th. May 9th is the day that they're going to be doing the citywide cleanup, but that's down here in this parking lot. It doesn't really, we don't have to worry about either doing it with them or doing it on a different day. So I don't know if anybody has a preference. I do think that it's going to, if George can do one day or not the other, that's going to make a big difference. But I didn't know if we were leaning towards a particular Saturday.
Well, I wonder who's available, which day and willing to show up.
Yeah, yep. Well, we need like 10 people and we always put the word out. But I mean, as far as schedules here, are there any days that you know will definitely not work or would be better? I could do either day.
I'm away on the 2nd, but I can do the 9th.
I can do either day as far as I know.
Do they do anything on the 9th? Like, do they have like coffee or anything?
No,
that's
all he does is he kind of assigns people to different parts and then they stop back here to pick up trash bags and off people go. So
might be able to recruit more people to help us at the same time.
we could, unless there are people that want to do that. I mean, we usually end up with about the same group of people anyway.
Right, because I think last year we did it on a different day, but the year before, it was the same day and it was really, I didn't even, yeah.
Sometimes
It's
we
such
try
different
not to
parts.
do it the same day as the Pride Parade in Northampton, but I don't know what day that is. But- Well, why don't we say that those are the two potential days? I mean, it's only March, so I can wait and see which day is better for George. And whatever day he says, then we'll try for that. And then we can talk about it more in the next meeting. Sound like a plan?
Pride is May 2nd. This year, in Northampton.
Oh, it is May 2nd? Okay, so I mean, the 9th may be better. If George can do it on the 9th, maybe we should do it the 9th, but. Okay. In the meantime, however, before that, I don't know if anybody's been on the path down near Union Street, near the kiosk and the little free library, but those darn
I
pods.
know,
they're
looks like we didn't
all-
even take 50 bags away.
Doesn't look like we did anything, and they're all over the place, and it's a mess. So we've got to clean that up. Yeah.
Right, just so you know, right now, if those pods still have seeds in them, birds are using those as food right now because things have been big.
Well, most of them are like.
They're like half decomposed and
down.
like,
Okay.
yeah, because they were.
No, we
I'll
took
fill it in
away,
the
we
fall
took
and then-
away a ton of them, but there were still a lot up there. So it's just a mess.
You're just talking about on the trail itself,
Yeah,
not
and
stuff that's like on the grass.
we.
It's all in the beds.
Beds, it's on the path, it's just, if you go down there, you'll see it.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
on both sides of the street.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the good thing about those pods is it's one of those trees that they don't do it every year. Usually they're one of those that like acorns, they'll drop a whole bunch one year and then the next year. So anyway, the brush dump should be opening up the first Saturday in April. And if we could find a day that even just 2 or 3 of us, like a Friday would be good because then we can take them to the brush dump on Saturday. Evan, if you have some time, or maybe something like that. It's just so if we take them over to my house, we can get rid of them like the next day.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like in the next couple of weeks.
3rd or the 10th?
I can't do the 10th, but I could do the 3rd. Or
That's what, 2 weeks?
the 2nd, so the 3rd would be better. It's a
That's 2
Friday.
weeks from now, right?
Yeah. Morning.
Yeah, what time is good? And anybody else
I can help.
help a little bit? I mean,
That's a Friday.
yeah, maybe 9
Yeah.
a.m.
Should people bring?
Rakes. Yeah, and I'll get a bunch of bags.
Contractor bags.
I said burn.
Yeah, because it's
I
really,
think we had like 34 bags or something.
that's a lot, because they're very heavy. They're
Yeah.
heavy. Yeah, so, okay,
So
all
which-
right,
Sorry, which date?
Friday, April 3rd. So Anita?
Yeah.
Evan? David? Okay, anybody else think they might be able to, or? No. Okay, all right, I think that'll be enough. We don't need a huge crowd, just a few of us. Okay, all right, thank you, because that just looks terrible right now. So, let's see, this is kind of a combination of old business and new business. So, what was it, a couple weeks ago, David and myself and Wendy remotely, we met with the mayor, DPW superintendent, and our new treasurer. We talk about the budget and our plan for eventually passing off the maintenance to the city. Because it's been in the works for a couple of years and nothing's happened. So
Nothing's still
David,
happening.
I'll let you I'll let you summarize what our discussion
mean-
was. And Wendy, you can add in too.
I mean, in some ways it was helpful because we were able to, at least, from the group standpoint, kind of, communicate our needs and wishes with Salem and, sort of bring them up to speed in terms of what had been previously agreed upon. Beyond that, I feel like, they're still kind of beholden to the budget as they're sorting things out. And the general feeling was like the likelihood that they could take this on for the next fiscal year, which starts July 1. I mean, I'm not holding my breath. But I mean, I think it's going to be kind of an ongoing challenge to facilitate a transition. I think there's some desire to, but there's just questions in terms of for DPW, the personnel and the funds to pay for them, and that they have different requirements than volunteers or other organizations. But I think we're going to just have to kind of follow up and nudge them a little and see kind of if we can break it down in other kinds of steps or something. I mean, I think everybody would like to do this, but it just may not be as feasible as we hope.
Right.
Yeah, it would be nice if we could get a date from them, a deadline. We presented what we would like to see and we chatted with them. But I think, it's nice to have some kind of schedule that a decision should be made by a certain date or something. Otherwise, we're just spitting in the wind. So I think if we can suggest a date or a deadline that we hear back from them with some kind of answer or a timeline, I think that would be my recommended next move.
Yeah, I get the impression that's going to be really difficult to do. I do think that, Greg, and I totally understand, he's got, limited budget, limited manpower. He's taken on a lot and he's struggling to think about taking on more. I think that it's going to have to be probably a shared thing with the park department and the DPW and maybe us doing certain things. But the park department wasn't part of the conversation and they haven't really been real receptive in the past. Yeah.
If I remember right, I think Salem had suggested that, there would need to be some communication between him and John at Parks.
Right.
But we're kind of spinning our wheels.
Yeah, I don't think this is something that any one department is going to take on. And unfortunately, we were supposed to meet with them earlier and there was a mix-up with the meeting. So we got delayed by like a month practically. And, at this point, the budget is really, they're deep into it. And I think even when we met with them, it almost felt like it was too late for this year because, the budget numbers were already being talked about and, they're looking at a big deficit this year as it is. One thing that we did talk about quite a bit was trash. And I would love to not have to pay Riverside $220 a month to empty 2 trash cans. But we kind of had a thought that the one that we're having the most trouble with is the one by Tandem. It's right by the dollar store. And we kind of came up with the idea that it may be that's not the best place for a trash can because anybody who's in the parking lot, that's why we end up with, subwoofers and things and
Just move it to like the fire department, like by the fire department.
Well, there used to be one there, but then we thought maybe we could relocate it to a different location, maybe like down closer to Payson Ave or that's, down that towards, along the path, but further away from the actual parking lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, rather than, we could just take it out we could just take it out, but we got a nice trash can. And maybe if we could agree, you know, on a spot that's, maybe when we're out there doing the mulching,
Yeah.
we can all kind of walk that area and see if there's a spot that we
I feel
could.
like by the benches and the water fountain, it kind of makes sense because you have all your amenities right
Well,
there.
there used to be one there, and I don't know if there still is.
No, I don't think so.
They must have
I think-
taken it
I
out.
thought,
Because there used to be
Reagan
one
said
there.
that it was, had been removed or whatever, and they'd probably have to kind of like create a, you know,
Yeah.
drill holes or whatever they
Yeah.
reinstall.
Yeah, so,
It seems like wherever we have, it turns into a problem, because we've had others removed as well, right?
well, this one is especially
Okay.
bad. And I don't know if it's really gonna make much difference, but in the summer, you gotta empty that twice a week. And our senior tax worker last year, he would, you know, take this top stuff off and take it to the trash. But we don't have a senior tax worker this year, which is a whole other thing. We don't have anybody that's gonna be out there looking at it except probably me. I don't really wanna pick up trash.
Does Tandem have any sort of external, you know, garbage dumping kind of situation? Like
Well, you know,
trash
that's
can?
really the backside of Tandem, so, I mean,
Yeah, they're outdoor seating, they have a fence.
yeah,
Fenced in.
they don't have anything.
What's your relationship like with them in general? I mean,
Good.
you know, they get a lot of business from the rail trail. I wonder if they'd be willing to have one on some area on their land there. That's,
Well,
that they can
Actually,
kind of.
Williston.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say, that's
Willis-
all
that's
Williston.
Willis.
Williston's land.
yeah, I think we need to get it further away from the parking lot.
Yeah.
And there is one trash can down near the kiosk, down right at Union Street. So we have one there. So, I mean, if we were to move it like way down to the other end, near, closer to Payson, someplace.
Yeah.
Even putting it on the other side of Payson.
Well, that's where the fire department there is. I mean, we'd have
But
to talk to them.
there's a
about
bench
it.
there, right?
There is.
Bench
And
on
the
that
water
side.
station.
Yeah, which I don't think it works anymore. Like I say, there used to be a trash can there, but they took it out.
Oh, that's the one they took out.
So Barb, we also talked about, since there's one right on Main Street, is removing and eliminating the one by Tandem. And I honestly, I think that's could be the best solution, is just getting rid of that second trash can.
Yep, we could do that too.
I think it'd be nice to try to still have it somewhere, but maybe it's just a place that won't get as much random people and just get trail people.
Right.
Because I do think it is like, not that I think the people that use the rail trail are serial litterers, but like, it's better to have them occasionally than not. But it is an issue.
Well,
I recognize that.
Do we want to forego the expense going forward that we're paying Riverside? Because I mean, if we have one can and we're paying them just to do the one can,
Yeah, that's kind of,
I mean,
I had hoped in our conversation that the DPW would be able to at least pick up the trash, but we didn't even really get that from them. Yeah.
You know, most trails, it's you bring it in, you bring it out. And I guess I feel that could be our trail. And that, do we really want to be in the trash business? And do we need to be in the trash business? We don't have one anywhere else on the trail.
Well, we do. It's right by Union Street.
Right, but I mean, except for that area. So we don't have one at either the north or the south end.
I mean, there is the one by Richards, but they're supposed to
Community
empty
feed.
that.
Right, but they take care of that. So,
Better.
you know, I think if we do a little PR about carry in, carry out, like any other park or trail, it'll be a learning process. Some people might be upset, but you know, that might be the answer. I think it would eventually be okay.
So if that's the case, would we remove both of them? The one by Union Street and the one by Tandem? Take them both out?
Well, and then if the city gets feedback, they can put one back on Union Street, but I don't know. They took theirs out for a reason.
If we take those two out, can we put one at each end of the trail? If we have them already and we're just moving,
Well,
thinking.
there used to be one at Route 5, but we took that one out because it was being used by all the boat people.
Okay.
So I don't want to have one on either end because that's
Too far.
It's too far.
Can we stop for a minute and think, a lot of people have driven on a lot of trails, are there trash cans on other trails?
And I was just thinking about that myself. I don't think there's any in the Northampton trail system that I'm aware of. Unless
That might be our
I think
answer.
there is one of Familiars. But other than that, and I just don't think I think to your point, is that what we really need? The people don't really need to drop their stuff there. That's not the clientele that are on the trail, I don't
You
think.
know what's in there a lot? Dog poop bags.
Which is better than when they just. leave them on.
Yeah, which is a
Trail,
whole
which is
other.
what people also
There's a good argument there.
Yeah.
Do you have any input? Do you have any?
I believe there are some in Northampton. They're not
Some along
super
Amherst.
prevalent, but there are a few. And I agree, like if nothing else, dog poop is.
Yeah.
Like I know even walking through Pulaski Park, there's poop everywhere.
Well, especially in the spring.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. What do you think?
Do we know physically if they're removed? I mean, like if we wanted to sort of as an experiment, remove them for a month and see what happens. I mean, do they have to just be kind of completely removed and then you can't put them back in, or is there a way
I'm
to
not sure.
remove them?
You know.
And if we wanted to reinstall them, we could without too much difficulty.
Right. Like, are they cemented in? Would you have
Right.
to cut them off? I'm not sure.
This is my first meeting, so there's a lot of questions I have, just as the startup, but the dog walking thing is a big thing on the trail, right? And is that represented in this committee anyway? Or is there a dog walking sort of faction in this group that would speak to that? Because,
No.
we're talking about it in the abstract.
Dog keeps walking across the way, so. Trail.
So, I think one of the issues with the trail, and all the trail systems is the dog poop stuff. Is there an idea that we could put a dedicated dog poop? It's not a garbage can anymore. It's a dog poop thing. It's speaking to them to put their stuff in that thing.
Actually, what we should do, I don't know if we've done this, is by the dispenser for those, there should be a sign that says, there are no trash receptacles available, please carry in, carry out, basically. So at least if they're taking one of our bags,
Yeah.
that they're getting the message that they're responsible for disposing of it.
I'm not sure what the sign says. Yes.
I think it just says clean up after your dog.
Yeah.
People think that putting it in a bag and tying the bag and throwing it in the woods is cleaning up, which drives me nuts. I mean, people do it on hiking too sometimes.
Well, I suppose we could look and see at the trash cans and see how they're connected to the base and see if they could be just taken off and then just as a test.
The other thing with the one at Tandem is if we let them know, they may like the fact that it's there, that some trash goes in there and they don't have to.
Well, I think it's more the dollar store in the parking lot.
But that if somebody, knows it's going to be removed and then there's going to be trash looking for a place to go, maybe somebody would be more invested in being responsible for it.
That's very idealistic.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think we would have to get the dollar store to. They don't care.
I think you're right, Barbara, that it's the location. So that's either has to be taken out or moved. I don't know about the other one, but that one is in the wrong place. It's servicing the parking lot. We gotta move it.
One place it seems like it would just be trail people would be if there was one at the south end of the trail.
Yeah.
Because people park there to get on the trail, but it's not like they're
either park trash
coming
into
from
the
too many places.
Yeah, I don't think we should have one on either. I think that's too far out. It would be
Yeah.
too much. I mean, I don't know who's
I like-
gonna empty that, whether if Riverside would even
Yeah,
wanna go that
they
far
will
away.
go out there. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, whoever said, about putting it over by the, where they have the little tools, like tools.
Yeah.
I think that makes some sense.
Yeah, we can check it out when we're down there for that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when we're down there for the mulching, which means everybody should come and mulch. Maybe we can, have a little more discussion on it. And, or if anybody wants to look at it, of course, in the meantime and see if they have any thoughts. But anyway, I think that is something that we either should move it or remove them. Remove one, remove two. So that's kind of.
I'd just be concerned if we remove one, the trash would just move down to the other, because it's.
Yeah.
It's not that, yeah, they're not.
And then
Yeah, I mean, right now in the trash can down here, at least there was some pet carrier or something that was under the snow and it was right by the bench and now it was in the trash can. So, they may have taken that away by now. All right, well, why don't we be continued on that one, and anybody that, if you are in the area and you take a look at it and have some ideas. So that does kind of relate to the dog poop issue that we've got. Was it Liz or Wendy that came through the Facebook page? Do you remember? I know Lisa was the one that responded to this woman to say, we don't enforce it because how do you enforce it? And, ask people to pick up and whoever.
Is this one supposed to be taken care of by Richard, you said? That was like.
Oh, I emptied that.
You emptied that? Oh, yeah, that was like a while ago. It was
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah, no, our former senior tax worker came up to me at Winterfest. So I went down there and I emptied the whole thing out. It was 3 bags, mostly full of nips and dog poop. Yep. And then I went to Richard's and they thought that they had just forgotten about it.
I see.
I do want to check it, make sure that that's the case, so.
Sorry.
Yep. As far as dog waste, I mean, I know it comes up every year when the snow goes away and you start to see stuff. And I think we could put up signs till we're blue in the face. And I don't think it would do any good. I don't
It's just one of those things.
really know what a solution on that would be. If anybody has a great idea, it would be great.
I'm wondering, it's a little less glorious than mulching, but to do a pickup day, if kind of mid-spring, early summer is mulching time, then I think, dog poop picking up time is like, I guess this time, March, right? As you said, when the snow goes away, I'd be happy to, I walk my dog on the pet path all the time and I always carry a poop bag. But, I appreciate when there's not poop all up and down the trail. I'd be happy to help pick it up, if there's a day once a year or something, to do a cleanup day.
You might be the only person who's happy to do that.
Well, I'm happy to do it just so then I don't have to step on it the rest of the year,
And Barb, I can repost on Facebook for whatever good it will do, the there is no poop fairy sign on Facebook, because I think people do respond to that. I know it's posted on one of the kiosks, but maybe we should post it in more places.
I think I might have taken that down. I'm
No,
not
it's-
sure.
it's
It's
the
still
one
there?
by,
It was last,
Yeah, if you want to put that on the Facebook page, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll repost it.
It's a cute.
It is.
Well, I'm over on the Coleman side, so maybe I'll just arm myself with some heavy trash bags and a
Ooh,
pooper scooper and do my little section.
what a good person. Thank you. All right.
Speaking of all this, where are we with like the signs that we'd kind of decided on the wording? And
I think that's on the list.
Yep, that's under, we can talk about that now, sure. The trail etiquette signs.
So yeah, I think we emailed around the last set of signs. I actually got in touch with, I went to the Mass Central Rail Trail Alliance meeting on Friday, and Commissioner LaChapelle was the keynote speaker and brought Barb up. Told the whole state about how your vision to get the Manhan to happen. But anyway, I ran into someone from, I think it's Noah from Connecticut, from the Northampton to New Haven, and he runs the website, and he was very excited about doing trail etiquette, and I just was emailing him with him today. And my idea was to make the etiquette sign consistent across the entire 80 miles. So it's the same for Massachusetts and Connecticut. That being said, it's almost exactly the same as the sign that we currently have. So I think everybody was pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
Like, was there any hesitation or concerns about what we drafted so far?
Yeah, you had changed the icons, I think.
Yeah, I
and
think
all
we
that.
added a wheelchair. This person
Yeah.
right here, Amy, did it.
3 months ago, 4 months ago.
That was like a while
testing my
ago.
memory now. I made changes. You said. I know
Yes,
that.
you did, yes. So, I just communicated with this person. Literally, I met them on Friday. I had emailed before, but that person didn't write back. I think it was Christy is the email I had before, and she didn't. And Liz is nodding. Liz gave me that email. Apparently, she's not the greatest email. So now I'm in touch with someone else who was over the moon to talk about trail etiquette and have the consistency be the same. So I don't know if we want to do anything different, but I just think it would be really cool to have it if you are doing more than one town to have the same signs.
So do you think that we should kind of put this on hold for right now and like see if they like those signs? Maybe those will be the signs that everybody will get.
Does. Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't done this before either. So
I mean, I could take that final design, which you'd have to email me because it was so long ago that I
Mhm.
don't remember, and take it to the guy here in town, and he could make a few signs for us. Or we could wait and, see what they say, that if you want it to all be consistent.
Okay.
But I think some of the things that we're talking about that we want trail users to be mindful of as we get into sort of the busier time of the trail, I think getting it in like in the spring.
We also had to figure out like where we would want them and how many we would want. I mean, and I think they kind of come in a standard size, I think. So
There are some existing signs out already that we could replace with the newer ones. So we already have some posts in place.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to put in a new, we'd have to find a post, find existing
Right.
posts and put them on. I mean,
Okay. Yeah. So then like we're talking about, I'll have to write it and count.
I think it'd be, like they were saying, more beneficial for our trail to like do it sooner rather than later. And maybe if we do it, and then we can send them pictures of ours. It's like, hey, look at how great these look. But
Yep.
I literally just sent it today
I
to
don't think
them.
Connecticut people ever
So
want to copy what we do, but
I think there's nothing wrong with just moving forward. But I just was excited to finally get their contact information.
All right.
And it is all almost exactly the same as we did.
I do know that the guy that he's on Lovefield Street, ProMark or something, does really good stuff. He was kind of saying he kind of just likes to have the idea, and then he does. I think we still should give him the computer file, and if he wants to, like use that or like take that and make his own. I mean, there might be some font changes or things like that. I think the green and white.
Maybe we can just ask for a proof from him.
Yep.
Before, by the next meeting.
Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you could resend that to me, just so I have the most updated one. And I'll go see him and I'll get a proof and a price per sign, and then we can decide how many.
And then maybe on that trail day we go, or the mulch day we go up and down and pick sites that we want them. Or do you wanna do before that?
Well, I don't think we're gonna want to go on the whole trail on mulch day. I think if we can, anybody who's out there, or if you have an idea.
I'm walking the trail tomorrow morning. from Coleman to Union, so I'm happy to count while I do that.
I mean, I
If
wouldn't
anybody
think
wants to
more
take.
than like 6. Yeah, sounds about
Or
right.
why don't you have just appoint a subcommittee, have, 2 or 3 people to walk the different sections and come back with a recommendation on how many?
I think it should be at key points, like at Coleman
Intersection.
Road and Route 5
Right.
and, places where people come into the trail. Or something like that.
Also-
The center.
Also,
obviously.
your committee inspired me along with every other meeting I've been into the state. So I created a trail etiquette toolkit for work that Ron, I think, got to see during the annual meeting. It's on our website now, but there's stuff that you can use, Wendy, on social media that is some of the same stuff. Amy also helped make that too. So there's other digital stuff that you can just post on Facebook or put on the website that also
Okay. Good. Can you send me that link when you have a chance? Thank you.
I'll send it tomorrow.
Okay.
That's probably a good segue into discussion about the Friends website. I can't remember. I think this came up after our last meeting, but Trace Meek, who's maintained our website, he created it, he maintained it, he's everything for like forever. He's going to be stepping away from doing it by the end of the year. I know because I asked him to help with another website, and that's when he told me that he's kind of decided that he's going to be stepping away from that. He's willing to help us transition to another website or website server. Wendy, you've had your conversation with him more than me, I think. So I'll let you take it from here.
Well, I think we have options of trying to keep the current site. And the question is, can he just transfer ownership of whatever, official stuff has to happen on the back end so that he can step away, but we can still use manhantrailtrail.org and still have our email or our web address and what have you. Or we could go to a completely different system. There's all kinds of templates and rebuild from scratch. Personally, unless there's someone on the committee who would enjoy doing that or feels confident in doing that, that would be great. That's not my forte, so I wouldn't. I think our existing website, it's not perfect, but I think it works pretty well. And we can improve upon it, but to start from scratch is a big job. So I don't know how other people on the committee feel, or even if you ever use the website or go to it or look at it. But to me, the idea of starting from scratch is.
Do you know what the domain is? Do you know what the domain is? What's the website server, the host, and
right.
What's our domain with? Do you know that?
Right. I don't know what company it is, but we want to keep, I think, the same. Well, I don't know.
You can do that. You can. So right now, the Easthampton Farmers Market, we have a website that we can't use. We literally can't do anything with it. So we're kind of stuck, and we're looking at probably having a whole new website. So at a recent Chamber of Commerce meeting, a friend of mine, there was a woman that was there who helps with websites. And so I think we're going to have her do a brand new website for us. She mostly works with Squarespace. And it just happens that for the farmers market, our domain is a Squarespace. So her cost to develop the website, which after she gets it set up, we can maintain ourselves, because I think it's pretty easy. And I think Squarespace can be not that complicated to set up, but I don't know how to do it either. But her regular fee is like $3,000. Just as a ballpark to show you how much, if we wanted to go to this woman and say, help us with a brand new website, that was the number that we just heard from this woman. Now, she does work with nonprofits. And so I think sometimes she is willing to do a little better than that, but it's just as an idea of if we wanted to start from scratch, that could be an option.
I think it could be a good opportunity to like refresh and start from scratch, because like from like a Gen Z perspective, our website is like unusable. Just to like, but also, so the company that I connected us with that did the printing of the flyer of the maps also does websites, and like I interned for them forever when I was in high school and stuff. So like I still have a great relationship with them.
Would they do the same thing, like set up a website and then leave it, it would be able to be updatable by us?
Yeah, I could talk with him if that's
That'd be
just to
great.
get like a ballpark.
What do you think? When do you think
That's fine. Get a price and see.
like, it would be good to know like what kind of, what domains, what they work with too. And whether we have a really great, web address and whether it can be transferred over. I think that they can be.
There's a WordPress currently.
I think
Yeah.
they can definitely,
That's
they can definitely transfer the domain.
Really? We can't.
Yeah, I think it's just important that somebody on our committee is able to make changes, that we don't have to go through a third party or through a company to make.
And that's what I used to do when I worked for them. So
Perfect. All right. Yeah, if you could look into that and report back, that'd be excellent, I think.
Technical expertise on the committee.
I know. That's
This is
great.
very
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Lisa
All right.
works for the computers, doesn't she?
It is like events. Which also leads back to what we had talked about earlier is the donation platform. I know we had looked at like Zeffy or GiveButter as options to PayPal. The National Pond Committee has an interesting thing is if you go on and you want to donate there, they kind of give you options of different places. If you want to do a PayPal, you can do it. If you want to they use Zeffy, and reading the descriptions of like GiveButter versus Zeffy versus others. Zeffy is kind of like basic and it's not fancy, but I think you can still do a tip if you want. They do the same thing. So, I think if we're looking at a website, it would be the perfect time to pick one of those. And we could do like the pond committee and give people an option of how they want to make the donation. I do know that on GiveButter, you can also, if you have a campaign, like something like that, you can also give people an option of mailing a check. You can, because I just did that. So. If they know of any that they have worked with that they think is good for nonprofits for,
yeah, I was thinking there's ones like them, like other places in Easthampton are using one, so use that too. So because if people are giving to them and they trust that, they'll probably trust it to give it to us.
Yeah. All right. Let's see, maintenance. On the Lovefield Street bench. John from the Park Department. This is the woman who doesn't really like where the new bench is because she claims it looks right at her house. And it kind of does, but it seems to me like it's far enough away. The park director told me they're not going to move the bench. They're just going to let the grass kind of grow up along in that area. So hopefully over the summer, at least, maybe it'll be brushy enough that it won't be too objectionable.
And an evergreen in front of it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I right now, I don't know what stuff is there. So, but John
It's
is
tough because it's like the bench, the trail, and then the street. Like she's like on the other side of the street.
There's a little bit of a triangle of land there, but not much.
It's just the way they position the bench kind of looks right at the house.
Yeah,
rather
no, I
than
know. I know
Sort of the
exactly
yard
where
next
that
to
bench
it.
is.
I mean, maybe once she gets used to it being there, it won't be that big of a
Or should-
problem.
Consider some plantings in her yard that would provide some.
Yeah, they'd be a lot more effective
Yeah.
anyways.
So far away from,
Yeah. I think what we should do is kind of see what it looks like when things get growing. And then maybe, go take another look at it and see if but parks, they're not gonna do anything. That bench is staying there. So he told me that quite emphatically. So,
I had a little bit of concern about like if they open that road, but I have a feeling Northampton is never gonna open that road. Like you have so many other projects to work on.
yeah.
Like I was just concerned if you add plantings
Right,
there, that it
right.
would create a
Sightline.
visual sightline issue.
They're never.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably waiting on federal funding.
Which is never gonna happen.
Bridge have them?
Yeah,
The size
that
of
used
the-
to be kind of a
Not
cut
as
through.
big.
Yeah. I would bet
Pole
that
is like
road
this
never
big in
gets.
the pavement in the middle of it.
Which I kind of
It's
love.
under a-
Closed off.
It's under a road sign now, but it's just, there's nothing there. The
wild.
entire pavement's gone, so.
Yeah.
They're not- I don't
I
think. they're
don't
gonna
think
fix
we're gonna
that
see
one.
that anytime soon.
So
They've been out for like 2 years.
Right. It's even longer.
All right. I think that's kind of about it. Does anybody else have anything? Seems like a lot.
It's been a fun meeting. You were our only ones there from Easthampton. But it was a nice meeting.
Are you talking about our annual meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had our annual meeting at Lick Park. It was awesome. It was really, really fun.
Well attended.
Yeah, it was super well attended.
When was it?
It was in January. It was like right after MLK Day. Mass Bike annual meeting.
Nice.
It was very fun. Frank Villa kind of secured us the site.
The garden house or whatever. they
Yeah,
call it.
exactly. It was at the
Not
garden
in the
house.
park. I'm like, wow, January.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's owned by the park. It's run by the park.
Right.
Yeah. You didn't have to pay. Nope. Nope.
All right. Let me just, since we did so much, I'm gonna kind of just go back and just refresh my memory and so everybody's so we're gonna see if Salem is maybe interested in doing a bike ride sometime during May for the bike week. And if he does, maybe we can have some snacks or do something like that. But we'll check on with Salem. Let's see, Friday, April 3rd at 9 a.m. A few of us are gonna meet down at Union Street to clean up those nasty pods. I'm looking like maybe the mulching day is the 9th, but depends on what George LeBree's schedule with his little bobcat is like. So that won't conflict with Pride Day and it would match us up with the cleanup day. So we could do that. Let's see. David's gonna write a letter in support of the Remembrance Garden. And if you can get it to me, I can email it. Let's see. We're gonna get, you're gonna send me the most recent sign, and then I'll take it down to the sign guy and see if he can give us a quote. And let's see, what else? Let's see. When we're out doing the mulching, we're gonna take a look at the trash can and see what we think about either removing them or relocating them. Evan's gonna talk to his, what is it? What's the name of the
Alias Solutions.
Alias Solutions about the municipal website and connected with that, maybe the donation.
And I'm gonna talk to Lisa about the Mass Trails tent.
Right, Mass Trails.
Were we also thinking maybe the mayoral's ride the same day as like the abandoned brewery?
Oh, May 22nd.
Or we
Well, they'd be
we can
totally
offer
different.
2 different dates or 2 different events.
I would think the ride would be in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess maybe it'd be depend on what day works best for him, if he's able and interested. Think about doing it. And we probably should find about that soon, so if it is something we want to do, we can get back to Sean. Let's see, and our next meeting is Monday, April 13th. Oh, is that about it? And Holden is gonna go out and pick up dog poop.
Some point we're gonna meet her
If anyone's interested, let me know. Maybe this weekend.
after years. Well, yeah, the whole thing, trash and branches and everything else.
Well, we don't usually do that.
We usually do it in beginning of May or.
Well, that's our mulching day.
Huh?
The
Yeah, I know.
mulching, the day that we mulch the mural and take mulch down. Yeah. Yes, I did check with the Council on Aging, and as far as I know, we don't have anybody that's interested in the senior tax worker position. So we're gonna kind of need somebody who's at least willing to fill up the trail map.
Is there like
boxes.
something on the website that, like a volunteer position available, or like how are you advertising it?
Well, that is kind of advertised, the Council on Aging takes care of that. Yeah, and I checked with they're the ones that take in the applications and review and see who fits
Can
with
we
what.
promote it?
I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah.
Yeah, can we put it on Facebook and say, hey, did you know the Council of Aging is taking applications for blah, blah, blah?
Exactly, yeah.
I'd have to see even maybe that, I don't know what the timing is. They may have already closed that. I don't know when they accept that. I could ask Cindy a little bit more about it though, to see is this position off the table? The park department doesn't want to do it anymore. Are we done? Or is she just hasn't seen anybody so far?
Yeah. Okay, let me know, or you can post it or I can post it.
Oh, and just one last, so we know that, the city put forth another Mass Trails grant for this year, right?
Yes, they did. Yeah. Should be finding out on that pretty soon.
They haven't announced them yet.
All right.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second. See you on April 3rd. And then our meeting on the 13th. Great.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.